Happy July! I'm going to talk through what I suggest working on this month in skating. You can get all of the videos that I am talking about, all of the content I am talking about through the memberships on That Nicole Fiore or through the memberships on YouTube. And if you are looking for some more off-skate training and mindfulness, please check out the memberships on tnfiore.com. There is so much to go over and so many exciting things happening. A lot of us have goals, trips, things we want to do over the summer, and I want to make sure we are fully ready for that. So we are working on drills to strengthen every part of our body, focusing mostly on our hamstrings and our hip strength. Everything surrounding that, our entire leg, all the way through up to our core. So we will be working on drills 8 and drills 6. To balance it out for all levels, our skills will start with the cross in front and then go into bracket turns. So we have a beginner skill and we have a more intermediate to advanced skill. And our choreography for the month is Dance the Night by Dua Lipa from the Barbie movie, which I'm very excited about. The movie and the choreography. So let's get into it. Week 1, we are working on drills 8, which is working on our hamstring strength. So in skating, we tend to work on the fronts of our legs a lot and kind of ignore the backs of our legs. They get enough workout on their own. We don't really focus in on it. Not this week. We are going to be focusing on slow, controlled movement to build up that strength so that we can do a lot of fun stuff with our free leg movement. Then we are getting into our cross in front. A cross in front is one of the most important skills to learn. Not only is it a great skill on its own, but it's also a great way to save us from falling. If you're on an outer forward edge and you go a little bit too far, a cross in front is the best way to get out of it and save yourself. So it's an awesome skill and an awesome tool. They're also great for skating around corners, downtowns, anything that curves around on a surface. Cross in fronts are fantastic. There are 4 things that I do encourage you to practice along with that set of drills and that skill, starting out with forward cross pulls. Now, a cross in front, you simply cross your foot over, make sure to keep your feet parallel so you don't trip yourself. You cross one foot over the other, set your other skate back down. A cross pull is the same motion, but you're actually digging in and getting speed with that other foot that was on the ground first. So you cross over, you dig in, and you push. A lot of skill goes into that. A lot of strength goes into that. It's really important to remember to keep your core nice and strong. So really find that foundation in your skating so that you can dig in and push. On forward cross pulls, you dig in with the pinky toe wheel, dig down into the surface. And I keep saying dig because you really have to feel like you are digging a hole down into the surface. Hopefully you're not actually doing that, but you have to feel like you are doing that to really create that friction with the ground and get speed. So crossovers don't really give you much speed. Cross pulls, those give you all the speed you need. Next, since we're working on cross in fronts, we should also work on cross behinds. Now a cross behind is more about transfer of weight. You're gonna be crossing one foot behind the other and then picking that up and setting it alongside. So it's the exact same thing as forward crosses, but reversed. Next is one of my favorite moves, something I think every skater wants to learn and should learn, the downtown. A downtown is simply a cross in front and a cross in back. So the main skill this month is cross in fronts. One of the practice skills is a cross behind. Put those together, that's pretty much all you need. When you're doing a downtown, I do really encourage you on using your body facing where you are going. So as you cross in front to start it, you tighten up your core, you face one direction, cross behind, you face the other direction. You're gonna work at diagonals on that one. Downtown is all about rhythm. So yes, all of that technique is very important, but it's all about finding your own groove within that technique. So make sure you are playing with it, adding things. There's no right or wrong way of doing it. Bend your knees, add a little funk to it, add some arm movements, maybe a spin at the end of one side. Just figure out what works best for you and what feels good for your body. Lastly, on the week 1, cross rolls. Ugh, I love and I hate cross rolls. So we have crossovers, or cross in fronts, multiple names for that one. We have cross pulls. We also have cross rolls. A cross roll is going from an outer edge to another outer edge. So usually if you're going around a corner on a crossover or a cross pull, you're going from an outer edge crossing over onto an inner edge. A cross roll deepens the edge, crosses, and goes over to another outer. So you're actually going like this instead of around a curve or a corner. Play with the cross rolls. Make sure you are really digging in, bending your knees, deepening your edge before the cross, and keep that body nice and strong. You can find all of the links to these videos for the membership on my site and the membership on YouTube, all linked in the blog below. All right, on to week 2, our beginner intermediate choreography. Ooh, I had so much fun making this. If you watched my vlog from a few weeks ago, I actually showed me choreographing it, watching the music video, going and creating the choreography. It was a really, really fun process, and it's a really fun routine. All of the choreography is meant for you to either follow directly or kind of use it as inspiration and make up your own moves. You can add and subtract things as much as you want. You can take more beats, you can take less beats. If you change it completely, it will not hurt my feelings. Feel free to have fun with it and make it your own. There are 3 skills that I focused on when I was choreographing this and are apparent throughout the choreography. The first one is the flow and connecting moves skills video. This video is super special to me because it is difficult to connect moves. That is not an easy thing for everyone. So this video really focuses in on doing one move, flowing into the next move, finding that fluid motion throughout your body, and not being afraid to try different steps after another move. Like I always say, there is no right or wrong way for a lot of this stuff. So if you want to do a downtown and go into edges or a spin or crazy legs, there's no right or wrong way. You can do whatever comes next in your body. It's all about knowing the fundamentals of skating, knowing your balance, knowing your own body and what you're comfortable with to know what you would be comfortable going into next. So I do recommend watching that video, playing with your arm move, playing with your core, rotating more or less on certain moves to become comfortable in your movement. Next is that cross in front that I mentioned in week 1. It is used in our choreography so that you get plenty of practice. And lastly, the strut walk. We do a shuffle in the choreography, but you can replace it with the strut walk, also known as the TikTok walk. You can do the strut walk in pretty much everything to almost every beat. You can kind of slow it down. You can make it quick and sharp. Again, make sure that core is staying tight and you are working on transferring your weight as you place one foot in front of the other. And don't be afraid to strut it out whenever you are in doubt. When in doubt, strut it out. Okay, on to week 3. This is one of my favorite drills videos, and it is kind of a doozy because skates are really heavy, but you can do drill 6 off skates or on skates, whatever way you want to do it. When I make a skill that can be done on and off skates, I try to do it multiple times throughout the week. When I have my skates on, of course, it's a little bit more challenging because the skate is heavy. When I don't have my skates on, I try to do it when I'm brushing my teeth, when I'm cooking, when I'm waiting for something. So you can always put it in throughout the week. I recommend doing it at least 2 times throughout this week. It does involve a curtsy squat. So when you are squatting, on skates or off, make sure you are engaging that core and dropping your butt straight down to the ground, not bending too much at the hips. When you're on skates, of course, that's a little bit different. So make sure you are sturdy enough. You can always hold on to something if you need to. Or if you want to practice any drills or any skills on carpet or on grass, that is a great way to make sure your wheels don't roll out from under you while you're using the skate as extra weight in the exercise. And our skill this week is the bracket turn, also known as brackets. It's a 1-foot turn and it is kind of the cousin to the 3 turn. So a 3 turn goes from an outer edge to an inner edge or an inner edge to an outer edge. The bracket does the same thing. And because of this, the two often get very confused with each other. If you need breakdowns of each, I have them on the site. And I am always here to answer your questions if you do get confused. With all of the 1-foot turns, it can be confusing, but there are different ways of holding your body to make sure you do the correct turn every time. If you are very technical, the difference between a 3 turn and a bracket is that the 3 turn cusps into your circle. the bracket cusps out of the circle. I will throw a diagram right here. I wrote this one day and I hope this helps. We have 4 skills to practice this week with our drill 6 and our bracket turns. First up is inner forward edges. There is a strong outer forward edge video and an inner forward edge video. I do recommend checking those both out all the time. If you are not practicing your edges multiple times a month, I really do encourage you to do that. They are the best skill to come back to over and over and over again. The inner forward edges are very important when you are working on your brackets because the most common bracket is the inner forward bracket. And you have to have a nice strong inner forward edge in order to make that turn happen. Now, it doesn't need to be the most beautiful, deep inner forward edge. It just needs to be a solid inner forward edge. So make sure you are working on that throughout this week. And then I have 3 different 1-foot turns that I want you to play with. If you are a more beginner skater, please watch these and see what you can pick up from them. It will help your edges. You can always use your other foot to assist your turn. It doesn't need to be a complete 1-foot turn. You can actually kind of do it on 2 feet and you can do it off skates. So no matter what level you're at, I do encourage you to watch these videos and start playing with your 1-foot turns because you never know what might click and will help you progress faster and in a more efficient way. The first turn is the held open 3-turn. A 3-turn, like I said, is similar to a bracket. The held open 3-turn I think is the best way to learn the 3-turn and to continuously practice it because you hold your free leg out and in back, and then as you turn, you keep it up in the air and you hold that free leg open, opening up your hip as well. It's a really good skill to practice for balance reasons, but it will also help you with so many other things. Next up would be the inner forward 3-turn. So with the inner forward 3-turn, I do encourage you to, again, stretch that free leg in back as you are starting it, holding that inner forward edge, stretching your other free leg in back, but on the inner forward edge, you drop the 3-turn. Again, picking it up and holding it out when you finish the turn. So all of our 1-foot turns, if we do them in this more artistic way of learning it, whether you're an artistic skater or not, I do encourage you to learn it in this way because it's really challenging your body and your free leg. Skates are heavy. To hold your skate up like that, you are building so much strength and so much balance for future skills. And lastly on this week, the inner back bracket. There are a lot of different 1-foot turns to learn, but the inner back bracket is a challenging one. On this skill, I really want you to focus on keeping your hips back. Keeping your hips back is a very important thing in skating, and it is not a supernatural movement for everyone. So I really do want to make sure you are practicing that. Keep your core tight, bend your knees, and push your hips back. And the last week of the month, week 4, we are moving on to our advanced choreography. Now again, just like I was saying with the more difficult skills, no matter what level you're at, I do encourage you to check out the advanced choreography. You may want to alter a few things here and there, but take your time with it, build up to it. There's always something more extreme or more difficult to work up to in skating. People ask me all the time, am I ever gonna run out of things to teach? No, it's been 31 years and I have never run out of things to learn. So there are so many things, and that's what makes it so amazing and so challenging. It's beautiful and terrible all at the same time. But our advanced choreography is always made with performance in mind. So when I create these routines, it's focusing more on like, what would I have us do for a performance? So keep that in mind if you get frustrated. It is an advanced piece of choreography. You can take things out, you can change things as you wish. A few skills within that choreography is the bracket. We don't do an actual bracket, although you can push off and get some speed and do an actual bracket. But in the choreography, I do it from a standstill. So it's a good practice exercise to get comfortable on your 1-foot turns. You don't have to actually do it with speed. Next up is toe pivots. I love toe pivots and I love my toe stops. But you can also do toe pivots without a toe stop in. If you don't have a toe stop, If you have a jam plug, you can use that, but if you don't have anything in the front of your skate, you can put most of your weight down into the ground through your toe wheels and hold those in place. It takes a little bit more strength and a little bit more focus, but you can do it without toe stops. Toe pivots are super fun. You can do them at a taller level, you can bend down and do them low, you can do them forward, you can do them back, you can do them from rolling, you can do them from stationary. The options are endless and they are so much fun. When you're comfortable with your toe pivots, I encourage you to move on to a toe stop spin. Now that one's a little difficult without toe stops, so I do encourage you to put those toe stops in if you want to try this. I get asked all the time, how on earth do I balance on the toe stop and spin? The trick is you don't want to be on the tip of your toe stop. You actually want to be where it is a little bit more flattened and worn down. So if you have brand new toe stops in, it might be a little bit more difficult. You may want to rough them up a little bit, and then you'll have a nice smooth surface to balance on for your toe stop spin. But a great way to transition from toe pivots to the toe stop spin is to start a pivot and slowly just pick up that free leg a little bit more, or the foot that is going around on the toe pivot, just pick it up slowly, pick it up, pick it up. Eventually, you'll figure out how to transfer your weight over. But please check out that toe stop spin video. It is one of my favorite moves to do. And lastly, we end our choreography with some marching turns, just marching our way off the screen. So I do encourage you to check that out. Marching turns involve 1 foot turns, 1 foot turn after the other. You can hop the turns when you are traveling from forward to back. Make sure you are lifting the heel wheels when you are hopping, and from back to forward, make sure you are lifting the toe wheels when hopping. And when I say hopping, I don't mean jumping. It is a term on turns. You're not actually lifting your foot off the ground, but a portion of your foot is lifting. Make sure you are keeping that core tight, keeping your knees bent, bending every time before and after the turn. And if you're feeling very comfortable with your marching turns, move on to traveling turns. Traveling turns are a little bit more difficult. You don't put the foot down immediately after a turn. You just keep going. On 1 foot, turn after turn after turn. Be patient with yourself, have fun with it, and with everything, take your time. We are all very different. We are all made different, and that's what makes us so beautiful. If you find yourself comparing yourself to other people on the internet, in real life, whatever the case may be, try to stop yourself and remind yourself that you are on your own path. Your progress should not be the same as someone else's. So if things take you a little bit more time, it's totally okay. If you get things right away, awesome, good for you. There's no right or wrong way of doing it. Please just make sure you are enjoying yourself along the way. If you're doing something that you are not enjoying, maybe take a step back and reevaluate and move on to a different skill that will bring you happiness in that moment. You don't have to train one thing to get it. You can actually move on to other things and then come back, because you never know if something else will help you. So if you want to move on to choreography and have a little bit of fun, you might find yourself actually practicing that bracket turn, and you might get it in the choreography, and then it's, oh my gosh, I can actually do it when I'm practicing the bracket. So you never know how it all works together, but that is my structure for July. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you have fun, and please let me know if you have any questions at all. At the end of the month, I really encourage you to record your progress throughout the month. Actually, I encourage you to record your progress. And at the end of each month, I put together a video of our community progressing, having fun, and just being awesome. Like I said earlier, all of these videos for everything that I talked about are available through my memberships on thatnicolefiore.com and on YouTube. And if you want more off-skate training and mindfulness, please check out tnfiore.com, and I will see you later.